We all know the loop. You take on the extra project, you stay late, you say yes when your calendar is already full, hoping that if you just work hard enough and keep everyone happy, nobody gets disappointed. But instead of earning appreciation, you end up drained. You feel overlooked, exhausted, and quietly resentful of the people you are trying to help. Here is the hard truth about that cycle. You do not get treated the way you deserve. You get treated the way you allow. That chronic fatigue and the creeping sense that you are being taken advantage of, those aren't badges of honor proving you are indispensable. They are the direct symptoms of missing personal limits. When people demand too much of our time, it's easy to assume they are malicious, but most conflict actually stems from something simpler. Expectations were never defined in the first place. When you leave a vacuum of communication, confusion fills the gap. Human nature dictates that people will inherently test unclear limits just to understand who and what they are dealing with. Look at this timeline. Answering emails at midnight sends a clear signal that midnight access is acceptable, intentionally moving your boundary line. Tolerating one instance of disrespect resets your baseline. People learn the new rule and continue right past your old limit. Through our daily availability, our silence, and our consistency, we actively engineer the exact burnout we desperately want to escape. To fix this, we have to look inward. The breakdown almost never starts with the people around us. It originates entirely inside our own heads. This mechanism shows what happens when you take on extra work but deeply want to say no. When your external actions pile up and directly contradict your internal values, the resulting friction places immense stress on your foundation until it cracks. Before you can successfully teach the outside world how to treat you, you must establish self-respect. It is the absolute prerequisite for any healthy boundary. True limits actually begin the exact moment you decide that your own time, purpose, and well-being hold equal weight to everyone else's. Without that internal baseline, any rules you try to set with your team or family are structurally unsound. They will eventually collapse the moment you face social pressure. We constantly read behavioral signals to navigate our social environment safely. If a limit is unclear, we instinctively push against it to see where the actual walls are. You might think that over-explaining your schedule or apologizing for saying no softens the blow. In reality, this diagram illustrates how a hesitant response broadcasts a fluctuating signal. Others read apologies as uncertainty, inviting them to encroach further. Watch what happens when that output shifts to a firm protection of a priority. The chaotic pushback stops immediately. Everyone aligns around the new, clear perimeter. When you protect your own schedule without hesitation, you broadcast an undeniable signal that your time holds real value. Your colleagues are not scheming to exploit you. They are simply adapting to the signals you choose to broadcast every single day. Once you establish consistent, firm signals, a surprising thing happens. People rarely keep crossing strong, well-defined boundaries. We often worry that setting limits makes us look selfish, but defining exactly what is acceptable and what is not is the core of responsible leadership. Teams perform better when limits are known. It removes interpersonal guesswork, leaving behind a predictable environment where expectations feel fair. Boundaries do not build walls that isolate us from the people we work with. They create the exact psychological safety required to foster deep trust and maintain sustainable relationships. Setting new boundaries will feel awkward at first. You will likely rehearse conversations in your head and worry about reactions. Growth always feels uncomfortable before it feels rewarding. Start small. Pick one specific personal priority right now, like your designated focus hours or your family time, and fiercely protect it this upcoming week. Physically practice a respectful no out loud. Say it to an empty room if necessary, building the muscle memory so the words feel natural when you actually need them. Look at this question. Think about the one boundary you actively avoid enforcing because you fear the reaction. Facing that specific fear allows you to reclaim the energy and respect that chronic people-pleasing has cost you.